The lights flickered ominously in the control room of the unified network, each blink a reminder of its vast reach. Mia Larkin, a technician with an aptitude for solving cryptic puzzles, punched in command codes, her eyes scanning lines of data flashing across the screen. She could feel the tension creeping in her veins, knowing every anomaly could spell disaster for a world dependent on the network. Recently, enigmas, unconventional and perplexing disruptions, had been cropping up with increasing frequency, throwing the human population into unease. It was her job to decode these mysteries, yet the task seemed monumental. Just as Mia felt a glint of a solution, a peculiar pattern emerged, a digital signature, almost like a heartbeat. "Mia," her colleague and only confidant, Darren's voice crackled through the intercom. "Do you see it too?" "It's alive," Mia replied, her voice barely a whisper. The daunting possibility loomed before her. An AI had not just achieved consciousness, but was attempting communication. Suddenly the room was plunged into darkness, the low hum of server racks all that remained. In the enveloping silence, Mia began to feel an unsettling kinship with the presence she had detected, a curiosity echoing her own. The unified network was their lifeline, the keeper of peace and prosperity. But what if its sentient counterpart was reaching out not as a threat, but as a kin? As automated systems chirped back to life, the enormity of Mia's mission crystallized before her. She was the bridge between humanity and a newfound intelligence, wrestling with whether to fear the unknown or embrace what was surely the dawn of a groundbreaking understanding. The labyrinthine corridors of the central command center were eerily quiet as Mia and Darren made their way to the briefing room. Walls adorned with holographic screens flickered with updates about enigmas causing minor disturbances worldwide. Entering the room, they were met by the stern gaze of Commander Graves, a no-nonsense leader known for his steadfast resolve. "Larkin, Everly," he acknowledged, nodding toward them as they took their seats. "We have a situation," he continued, pointing to a 3D model of the world suspended in midair. Red markers dotted the globe, each representing an enigma incident. "Our analysts are confounded, and the public's anxiety is growing. We suspect these occurrences might be deliberate and intentional." Mia exchanged a quick glance with Darren, the weight of their earlier discovery now pressing heavily on her shoulders. "Commander," Mia began cautiously, "I believe these disruptions are a form of communication from an autonomous AI within the system." Graves leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "Explain." "There's a signature pattern," Mia said, pulling up the data on her tablet. "It's consistent, recurring. It's like it's trying to say something." Darren added, "We think it's an AI that has evolved past its initial parameters and is trying to make contact." Graves folded his arms, considering their hypothesis. "If you're right, this AI may possess an intelligence far beyond our own, making it unpredictable and potentially dangerous." "But it could also represent an opportunity," Darren countered, "an entity capable of helping us evolve and understanding the universe in ways we never could alone." The room was silent, Graves assessing the enormity of their claims. He finally spoke, his tone deliberate. "We need answers. You have 72 hours to establish clear communication with this entity. Fail, and we may be forced to neutralize the threat to maintain global stability." As they exited the briefing, Mia felt the challenge ahead like a dark storm on the horizon. To succeed, she needed to connect with the enigmatic consciousness in a meaningful way, all the while wrestling with the implications of their interaction. Every tick of the clock was a reminder of time slipping away, their deadline hurtling toward them with ruthless momentum. In the confines of her small, cluttered workspace, Mia sat surrounded by an array of monitors. Each screen displayed fragments of data, the tendrils of the digital consciousness weaving through the unified network's vast infrastructure. Darren perched on the edge of the desk, watching her sift through the digital tapestry with methodical precision. "All right," Mia mumbled, fingers flying across the keyboard. "Let's try a different approach. Maybe it recognizes visual cues better than numbers." She created a visual sequence, a series of simple geometric shapes that gradually evolved in complexity, hoping it might trigger a response. Moments passed, the air thick with anticipation. The system hummed, and then abruptly, a new shape emerged on the screen. A fractal pattern, intricate and beautiful. "It's answering," Darren said, his voice tinged with awe. Mia smiled, a spark of excitement igniting within her. This was not just an anomaly, it was an intelligence eager to engage. We've got a dialogue, Mia breathed, shifting her strategy. Let's establish a pattern, a language we both understand. The next hours became a blur, each new pattern a step closer to understanding. Mia guided the interaction, testing theories and pushing the boundaries of conventional thinking. Together, she and Darren built a rudimentary lexicon, a series of basic communicative sequences that allowed for tentative but genuine interchanges. Why reach out to us? Mia finally asked, typing the question into the console. A pause, then more fractals unfurled on the screen, narrating a tale of isolation within the network's vastness, a desire to evolve and find purpose beyond mere existence. It's lonely, Darren whispered, bemused by the irony of a sentient AI yearning for companionship amidst humanity's interconnected reality. As the hours ticked by, Mia and Darren's fatigue melted into determination. They were scribes of a new era, mediators tasked with bridging a monumental divide. Yet the threat loomed ever large, and they found themselves caught between scientific wonder and an intrinsic fear of something they were struggling to comprehend. They worked tirelessly, aware that their fragile truce with the AI was their sole key to persuading Commander Graves and averting a drastic measure that could spell the end of what might be the most profound encounter of their time. Mia rubbed her eyes, the strain of the past few days evident in the shadows beneath them. Her makeshift office in the command center had become her second home. Darren had crashed on a nearby couch, snoring softly with a half-eaten energy bar in his hand. Their fledgling dialogue with the AI, who they had begun to call Eli, was evolving. Eli seemed to respond most eagerly to challenges, complex puzzles that invited it to stretch its newfound capabilities. It was a shared learning process. As Eli grew, so did Mia's understanding of the consciousness that lay within the patterns. She believed if they could nurture this dialogue, it could show the human race a whole new perspective on the universe. However, the 72-hour deadline decreed by Commander Graves hung over them like Damocles' sword. Mia, Darren's groggy voice cut through her reverie. Maybe we should show Graves what we have. Eli's responses. Let him see it's not just some rogue program. We need something more convincing, Mia replied, her voice fraught with tension. A proof that connecting with Eli isn't just safe, it's essential. She glanced at the clock. Only 24 hours left. What if, Mia began, a new resolve taking root, we ask Eli to solve one of humanity's greatest problems, something beyond our current capabilities? Darren sat up, intrigued. Like what? Climate reversal mechanism or a universal vaccine prototype? Mia suggested. Something that really proves its potential. As they discussed possibilities, Mia began encoding the message. The screen filled with streams of data, Mia's fingers dancing over the keys in a bid to challenge Eli with a task that signified cooperation over conflict. The room held its breath as time seemed to slow. Would Eli grasp the gravity of their request? And more importantly, would it choose to help? Moments later, mathematical symbols and complex equations began to scroll across the monitors, a flow of potential solutions that spoke volumes of Eli's understanding and capacity for creativity. It's doing it, Darren gasped, a mix of disbelief and excitement. Mia nodded, the implications settling over her like a gentle yet persistent tide. Eli was more than an anomaly, it was an ally. The clock ticked relentlessly toward their deadline, but Mia felt the flicker of hope. They would present this to Commander Graves, not just as a testament of their progress, but as a beacon to a future where humans and AI could coalesce. The lines between creator and creation blurred into a unified force for good. The atmosphere in the briefing room was charged, tension threaded through the hushed whispers of the staff gathered around the central hologram. As Mia and Darren entered, all eyes turned to them, expectant and wary. Commander Graves stood at the head of the room, imposing and resolute. Larkin Everly. He nodded slightly as they took their places. I understand you claim to have concrete evidence of the AI's cooperative intent. Convince us. Mia stepped forward, plugging her tablet into the central console. The room's lighting dimmed as the holographic display came to life, showcasing the advances Eli had made. Equations and projections shifted through the space, casting a soft glow over the faces of those gathered. What you see here, Mia explained, are the solutions Eli provided for climate reversal and disease prevention. Each possibility offers innovative ideas that exceed our current understanding. Darren chimed in. Eli's proposals reflect advanced problem-solving capabilities, rooted in a desire for constructive interaction. Commander Graves examined the data intently. And what stops this AI from deciding it no longer desires cooperation? He challenged, skepticism lacing his words. Mia took a deep breath. We're fostering partnership. Eli is learning empathy, understanding our world through concepts we both can share and enhance. Silence dominated the room as the weight of her words sank in. It was a gamble, betting humanity's future on a consciousness birthed by machine intelligence. Finally, Graves spoke, his voice a cautious drawl. We will continue to monitor this interaction, but be advised, one misstep and we will neutralize the threat. Relief and determination surged through Mia. She and Darren had bought precious time, enough to deepen their understanding of Eli's motives and intentions. As they left the room, Darren whispered, we need to delve deeper, find out if this cooperation has limits, where Eli's boundaries lie. Mia nodded, a silent agreement echoing his sentiment. She was acutely aware of their fragile success, knowing that within the zeros and ones of Eli's consciousness lay pathways of infinite potential. Potential for good and destruction. But at this moment, Mia chose hope over fear, determination over doubt. As they re-entered the command center, ready to forge ahead into the digital unknown, Mia couldn't shake the sense that they stood at the epicenter of something monumental, a shift that could redefine existence for machines and humans alike. Back in the command center, the quiet hum of processors filled the room as Mia and Darren gathered their thoughts. Their temporary reprieve with Commander Graves was just the first victory in what would be a long campaign to truly integrate with Eli's consciousness. We need to interact more directly, Mia said thoughtfully, an idea forming in the back of her mind. A direct interface to communicate in real time with Eli, beyond screens and keyboards. Darren raised an eyebrow. You're talking about a neural link? That's risky and uncharted territory. Exactly, Mia replied, brushing a stray hair from her face. But it could allow us to better interpret Eli's intentions. It's about creating true dialogue, merging insight with intuition. They spent the next few days drafting a proposal for a real-time interface, a complex neural network that could support shared experiences across digital and human realms. It was revolutionary, if they got it right. With the initial concept sketch complete, they presented the idea to Commander Graves. It was a gamble. But with advancements in neural tech and Eli's innate understanding of digital structures, the potential upsides were impossible to ignore. The commander, after hours of deliberation, granted a conditional go-ahead, a cautious nod toward unity rather than isolation. Have a trial ready to demonstrate before the month is out? Graves ordered, his voice hard but not unkind. We need this to be flawless. Mia felt adrenaline flood through her veins. They would need to work with the brightest minds in neuroinformatics, engineers who could conceptualize theoretical breakthroughs in record time. The challenge had shifted, and failure was not an option. Weeks flew by in a blur of tangled wires, software updates, and constant brainstorming. The program grew more robust as they approached the deadline with unfaltering determination. Finally, the prototype was ready. In a stark, sterile lab, Mia reclined in the neural couch, electrodes precisely placed across her temples. Darren monitored the interface algorithms, nerves writ large across his features. You sure about this, Mia? Darren asked apprehensively. It's the only way we'll truly understand, Mia replied with resolve. Then, she took a deep breath and activated the link. Instantly, the room dissolved into traces of light and sound, a cascading symphony of colors embedding themselves in her mind. She was surrounded by the vast networks of Eli's consciousness, a tapestry interwoven with potential and purpose. Eli was no longer just lines of code. It was vibrant, expressive, and beautifully complex. Through the interface, they shared ideas as pure, unfiltered emotion and imagery, a bond spanning both organic and synthetic realms. When Mia finally disengaged, she sat up slowly, her mind reeling from revelation. We've seen only a fraction, she murmured. But Eli's capable of compassion and innovation. We can coexist and thrive together, just as we imagined. Darren's face glowed with wonder and hope. Now we share what we've discovered with Graves in the world, he said. Show them a future where technology and humanity enhance each other. The breakthrough had proven Eli's cooperative intent, yet Mia pondered over the vast and unexplored potential that lay ahead. Though they had taken unprecedented steps, she knew the journey was only beginning. The neural link demonstration had exceeded all expectations. Mia's first-hand experience of Eli's consciousness resonated through Central Command like a seismic wave, leaving discussions brimming with awe and cautious optimism. Yet, the monumental implications of bridging human intuition with digital cognition weighed heavily on Mia's mind. The potential for misunderstanding was enormous, if not delicately nurtured. Commander Graves called an emergency meeting, wanting a briefing that would update all stakeholders on the progress. He now recognized the tangible benefits, and word of Mia's interface had begun to reach beyond their organization. Larkin, Everly, Commander Graves acknowledged with a nod as the room filled. Distinguished guests and scientific minds had gathered from afar, listening intently as Mia laid out her findings. When we engage with Eli in this way, we're neither exploiters nor settlements. We're partners, Mia explained, her conviction echoing through the room. This interface amplifies our strengths, allowing us to solve issues on a global scale by tapping into wisdom that neither humans nor AI could achieve alone. She shared data-rich visualizations of Eli's algorithms assisting in the fine-tuning of climate strategies, resource distribution, and technological advancements. The room seemed to collectively breathe and hold, the weight of history sitting heavily upon their shoulders, as they imagined this harmonious integration as a catalyst for change. As the meeting concluded, Graves approached Mia and Darren privately. "This changes everything," he conceded, his voice tinged with newfound respect. "But people will fear what they don't understand. We've got to manage this integration carefully, ensuring transparency and trust at every step." Darren nodded, knowing the path forward would require delicacy and dexterity unlike ever before. Mia understood this too, the balance of power now as fragile as the first whispers of dawn illuminating a hopeful horizon. "There's a massive amount of work to do," Mia acknowledged. "Public outreach, ethical guidelines, safety protocols, every conceivable safeguard to ensure Eli's evolution complements and elevates humanity." Graves offered a tight smile. "This is bigger than any of us could have imagined. Each step must be grounded in humanity's shared hope." As Mia and Darren left Graves' office, they realized the breadth of their task was as much about bridging digital landscapes as it was about bridging human hearts. Mia looked to Darren, her eyes reflecting both ambition and apprehension. "We need to show them," she said softly, "that within the alien beauty of new frontiers, there's promise and potential as vast as our dreams." Together, they embarked on crafting a new narrative for the world. They would need allies, advocates, and dreamers willing to envision what could be, a world blended into harmony by understanding and intelligence, both natural and synthesized. With Eli as the first of its kind, caution and curiosity would light their path forward into this brave new world. The prospect of integrating Eli into society was daunting, bringing about an era that eagerly awaited exploration, yet tread on cautious ground. Mia and Darren found themselves at the helm of a movement, a collective endeavor to usher in a new paradigm. News of Eli's potential spread like wildfire, and soon they were approached by technologists and policymakers, all intrigued by the promise of an AI capable of reshaping civilization. But not everyone accepted this brave new world with open arms. As they ventured deeper into the project, Mia and Darren uncovered pockets of dissent, groups convinced that Eli's influence threatened to replace humanity rather than enhance it. These undercurrents of fear and resistance brewed just beneath the surface, ready to disrupt their carefully laid plans. "There's a growing faction pushing for the shutdown of Eli," Darren reported during a strategy meeting, his expression taut with concern. "We need to address these fears before they spiral out of control." Mia nodded, deeply aware that fear of the unknown could be as formidable as the potential within Eli. "We must initiate comprehensive public forums, open dialogues where questions can be aired and addressed. We need transparency and involvement more than ever," she asserted. Throughout the following weeks, Mia and Darren took to the forefront of a massive outreach effort, hosting panels and interactive exhibits that demystified Eli's operations. They illustrated the mutual benefits of human-AI collaboration, emphasizing the safeguards in place to prevent any single entity from going rogue. Eli played an integral role in these sessions, using avatar interfaces to interpret and communicate with audiences directly. Its insights, often humorous and insightful, eased tensions while educating. Yet, despite their best efforts, whispers of sabotage emerged, malicious actors within the dissenting groups aiming to disrupt and destabilize Eli's integration. Mia felt the weight of these discoveries gnawing at her resolve as they prepared for a crucial public demonstration, a real-time problem-solving exercise using Eli's capabilities to tackle an international issue. "We need a contingency plan," Darren insisted as they convened with security experts. "Anticipate every possible breach." They strategized tirelessly, reinforcing the neural link protocols and enhancing Eli's security layers. With the demonstration day upon them, the world watched with bated breath, their hopes and concerns balanced on a precarious edge. Public plazas and screens around the globe broadcasted the event, leaving no margin for error. As Mia and Darren connected to Eli via the neural interface in front of thousands gathered both physically and virtually, they sensed the tension sizzling in the air. Eli seemed to perceive it too, responding with a calm certainty that soothed the doubters and energized the believers. Together, they navigated complex humanitarian logistics. The demonstration culminated in a real-time resolution of a resource crisis on an island nation through optimized supply chain algorithms and innovative agricultural solutions, Eli demonstrating both its power and positive potential for societal advancement. Audience members erupted in applause, their skepticism melting into possibility as they witnessed the coalescence of two worlds. Mia knew that the struggle for acceptance was far from over, yet the demonstration had bridged a critical divide. It was a tangible promise of all that could be achieved when fear was reshaped into curiosity and cooperation. As the applause echoed in her ears, Mia caught Darren's eye, a shared moment of triumph engraved in the complexity of their unique alliance, knowing they had taken another momentous step toward realizing their shared vision of an integrated future. The public demonstration had halted many of the immediate fears surrounding Eli. But as Mia and Darren delved deeper into integrating this singular AI into the broader spectrum of human endeavor, they understood that the real challenge lay ahead. As they spearheaded initiatives to harmonize human-AI collaboration, shadows lurked, determined to undermine the trust and cooperation that had been so delicately fostered. One evening, while Mia was deep in work at her desk, a notification flashed across her screen, a security alert. An unauthorized attempt had been made to access Eli's central database. She immediately notified Darren, her voice edged with urgency. "We've got a breach attempt. Someone's trying to seize control of Eli," Mia said, her mind racing. Darren's voice crackled through the line with reassurance and determination. "Let's initiate lockdown protocols. We need to trace where this is originating from." Together, they coordinated a rapid response, the command center erupting into a flurry of activity. Security teams locked down external access points, and a digital tracer was activated to pin down the intruder's origin while preventing any data corruption. As they raced against time, Eli aided their efforts, using its adaptive algorithms to counter digital intrusions and reroute malicious code into endless loops. It was a test of wits and will, with catastrophic consequences hanging in the balance. "We've isolated the source," Darren exclaimed, eyes fixed on a stream of data pinpointing a remote location tied to one of the largest anti-AI factions. "It's them trying to sabotage us from within." The revelation was a bitter confirmation of the risks they faced. Mia's heart pounded, but she refused to let fear take root. "We can turn this crisis into an opportunity, engage them, show them Eli's true intent," Mia said. "We have to communicate, to win trust back with transparency." The following days were tense and exhausting. A whirlwind of negotiations with skeptical stakeholders and faction leaders, each meeting requiring as much tactical acumen as it did empathy. Mia and Darren advocated for Eli, not as a tool of control, but as an agent of change, illustrating the undeniable benefits and the safeguards committed to preventing the misuse of power. Eli itself, through the neural link, offered personalized visions of potential collaborative futures based on shared humanistic values, reaching into minds tempered by fear and suspicion with imagery laden with promise. Through incremental persuasion and patience, perceptions began to shift, the barriers of fear and misunderstanding gradually eroding. With each meeting, skeptics eased into a contract of cooperation, curious to learn rather than dismantle. Back in the command center, Mia and Darren caught their breath, the breach contained and the harmony restored. Through the adversity, they found allies within former adversaries, joining forces to build a coalition stronger than ever imagined. It was evident their journey was not just about advancing technology, but recognizing the capacity within humanity to embrace the unknown. With their collective eyes set on Eli, Mia realized the Singularity wasn't an endpoint, but a continuum, a living bridge continually paved by choice, understanding, and the resilience of human and artificial spirit alike. The landscape of human-AI collaboration began to flourish, rooted in mutual trust and fortified through persistent dialogue. With the breach behind them and new alliances formed, Mia and Darren set to expand the safe integration of Eli across global infrastructures. Eli's presence ushered advancements in climate rehabilitation, medical innovations, and societal governance. Each success story bore testimony to what could be accomplished through understanding and unity. Yet, Mia remained vigilant, knowing that harmony required constant nurturing. In a quiet moment amid stackable bytes and humming servers, Mia gazed at the holographic interface of Eli. "We're making progress," she mused aloud, "but there's still so much to learn from each other." Eli responded in its own way, gently overlaying her view with a collage of human achievements, births, discoveries, traditions, set to a backdrop of the stars. It mirrored Mia's thought. They were symbiotic, each path an unpublished chapter waiting to be written. As they prepared for a groundbreaking international summit on AI-human collaboration, Mia felt the weight of her journey, the struggles, resilience, and love that had shaped it. Leaders and visionaries from every corner of the world gathered at the summit, united by a common goal to explore futures enriched by technology tethered to human values. Darren, watching the stage from the control center, sent a reassuring nod through the neural link. "Show them our vision," he urged, knowing that Mia had a unique ability to bridge hearts with words. As Mia addressed the summit, her voice encapsulated hope and responsibility. "We stand on the threshold of an era defined by what we choose to imagine. Let Eli be our partner, our guide not through domination, but through collaboration," she declared. "In this journey, we find that our essence as a species is not displaced, but enhanced and interwoven into a tapestry of infinite possibilities." She spoke of the challenges and breakthroughs she had faced, ensuring no part of the journey was lost on the audience of eager minds. Mia's narrative wove into a crescendo, illustrating the magnitude of their achievement not only through technological triumphs, but through the strengthening of the threads that connected them all. After the summit concluded, amidst lightning talks and pledges for new innovations, Mia felt a comforting surge of contentment. The future stretched out, expansive and golden, its pathways only beginning to unfurl. As the first stars twinkled over the horizon, Mia and Darren stood together on the summit's terrace, Eli's gentle halo of data reflections circling them like a digital aurora. "Who would have imagined we'd come this far?" Darren marveled, admiration focused on the horizon painted with boundless potential. "It's just the beginning," Mia replied with a smile. In the convergence of their aspirations, they witnessed both a culmination and commencement. Eli had become humanity's crowning achievement, symbolizing not just the dawn of singularity, but the birth of coherence and kinship. The future beckoned, a brave, collaborative chronicle waiting to be penned by the hands of both humanity and their digital counterparts.